Hello and welcome to Torg's Day night, which is also, I've been told, Fat Tuesday and Taco Tuesday. So it's just the trifecta of awesomeness. Welcome to the Ulysses International channel. I am Jamie, your GM, and we will be jumping into our Torg's Day one-shot here in a second. But before we do, I just wanted to start with a couple of different announcements. So it's Torg's Day night, and we normally jump in directly into the introductions. But tonight, I'd like to mention that we are participating with other streaming organizations and gamers in what is being called Roll for Ukraine, a a grassroots TTRPG community fundraiser for the United Help for Ukraine. Monies donated are going to be sent directly to the United Help Ukraine, helping to get humanitarian aid to Ukrainian refugees. You can go to facebook.com/roll for Ukraine, or I know that our ever-present moderator, Phantom of Truth, will be posting that link in the chat. Also, if you do a search for hashtag Roll for Ukraine, you'll find any number of TTRPG content creators supporting this charity. So please take a look at it. If you like what we do, if you are looking for a way to help, this is a great place to start. The other bit of announcement is a little bit more, how do I want to put this? Not so much self-serving, but for Torg information. Bundle of Holding has two great Torg deals. I know that Kirk will also be putting that in the chat, but you can go and check out. There's the original Torg, or they're both Torg Eternity bundles of holding. One is for Core Earth, one is for 5 Cosm supplements. Go check them out. They're a great way. If you're looking for Torg PDFs, please do. As to everyone who has joined us in the chat for the first time, welcome, and to all of our longtime fans, it is always good to see you guys in the chat. Padre, good to see you here. I missed chatting with you earlier this week. To everyone else, welcome. In case you don't know what this is and have just stumbled onto this, this is the Ulysses International Twitch channel. We are, or I am, John Matthew. I run the Torg Eternity actual play, which is going to be going on here. We're currently in a set of one-shots, and we're introducing our new characters into the mix. And Ben, I can hear you, so that worked. Whatever that was, that worked. So, excellent. So we're going to be jumping over to that. So these day one-shots are going to be introducing all of our characters for our live stream. And again, we've had a couple of technical issues. As Greg pointed out, we desperately needed that second chance on our step C of going live for dramatic task resolution. For those of you who don't, maybe new to the channel and new to Torg Eternity is this great game where our Earth, only if our Earth was an Earth where John Wick and the Die Hard movies were documentaries as opposed to just, fantasy movies. And if those were reality, and this Earth is invaded by multiple dimensions that kind of on day one invade our world. They overlay different parts of our world. They rewrite reality on day one, and they end up starting the possibility war. And we're introducing our characters, these Storm Knights, that can carry their own reality and possibility with them. And last week in our day one shot, you can go check that out on the Ulysses International YouTube channel, we introduced Zorba and Kit. Zorba is a movie star from Core Earth who, when day one hits, is transformed into a silent movie star from the Nile Empire. And Kit is a mummy accountant that was resurrected by mistake. And last week, the two of them joined forces to escape from the forces of Dr. Mobius. This week, we're doing our day one shot is Lasers over Paris, and we're taking a slightly different tack to introduce our new Storm Knights. So we're going to start off with transitioning over. Welcome to Paris, a day like any other. And this day in Paris, what we have is a blind beggar man who has been sitting out in the cold in the rain, been here for many, many weeks, moving through Paris, moving through the countryside, in an attempt to spread the word of the coming salvation for all mankind. Ben, would you like to uh, introduce your character? Hold on, Ben. Let me unmute you. There you go. Oh, you're muted, sir.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I apologize, everyone. My wife is out of town, so I don't have the IT support I normally do. Je m'appelle Frère Blanc. Je suis un Templar cybernétique. Mais maintenant, je sais rien. Uh,
I'm
I'm
gonna need you to
working on
translate
dog.
that for me because I do not speak French.
Uh, so I'm a homeless beggar man, a pretty big homeless beggar man, and he's got like a walker, and he walks all the way around Notre Dame every day, and all he says is "Cherche pour la Dève non ici, la fin est maintenant," which means searching for God. God is not here, and the end is now. And he says those things repeatedly, no matter what anyone else says to him. He can only say those things in different ways. He might, he might shout "maintenant" or shout "Dev," but he's obviously a crazy person, and he just day and night is outside Notre Dame, muttering to himself.
Muttering to himself. Well, so here's the thing. Uh, as this time of unveiling approaches, you can feel it kind of in your bones, in your spirit, and as it happens, been this growing darkness that you have felt in Notre Dame. You have felt it. It has come to roost, if you will, in Notre Dame. And on this day, you can feel this change in the air block. You can uh, your your skin uh, tingles, your every breath and seems kind of poised on the edge of prophecy. And you've been hearing whispers for the last 12 hours. They're relentless. They will not leave you alone. The more and more you try and block them out, the more and more they grow. Never loud enough to be heard, but they always seem to be repeating the same phrases and syllables and stresses over and over again. And as the storm clouds roll in, they find like people, some throw francs at you, others cross the street. Notre Dame has been kind of cordoned off as the scaffolding and the repair crews are starting to be put in place.
I forgot to say, JM, that I have kick me stuck all over me in 4 or 5 different languages. And I'm not smart enough to remove them. Yes, I look like I've done the walk of shame from that popular HBO show.
As you are waiting, you hear the whispers finally kind of come into reality or into clarity, and you hear, "In the dark the demon hides, but within it yet light abides. Many foes will stand the fight, but hand in hand walk toward the light." And you can see the doors to Notre Dame you can see them clearly. You can see them as if light is spilling out of them. What do you do, Block?
I pray.
Okay, give me a faith roll.
Okay. All right.
Kowalski, I assume you are brooding silently in the darkness.
You do.
That will take me to, that is a 17.
You feel drawn into the cathedral. This is your moment, Block. This is your moment to stand against the darkness.
All right. I walk to the front door painfully, using my hobbling and muttering to anyone who's nearby that the end is near, very near.
As several of you know that there are restoration experts inside the cathedral at this point. The rain is coming down. It's coming down heavier. There are several security guards who start rushing towards you as you kind of reach towards the door, which are wreathed in light. And as the first lightning bolt kind of crosses the sky, red and blue, you hit the doors and they get blown open. And Brother Block, as you kind of move in here, Kowalski, you've been brooding here for many days. Some might even say weeks. You were sent ahead. Do you want to kind of describe what your character... Well, let's get there in a second. You were sent ahead to kind of lay the ground, to slink among the shadows, to prepare the way for the fall of yet another reality. But something changed. Where you come from, it is all pain, torture. At least of those weaker than you. Those above you inflict pain. Much like what a dung beetle pushes, it all sort of rolls downhill. But something changed in you, right? Something unexpected as you were in this new reality. And so you fled your mission, knowing that the day of the invasion, every day you weren't there, crept closer and closer. And you sit huddled over the little, no one even knows where you would have found it, the little portable TV VCR machine that you found in some pawn shop in St. Petersburg. And as the thunder is raging, you can kind of feel it in the back.
I found it in the dumpster.
You found
I had
it
to
in
rig it to run off of real crystals.
real crystals. And as the doors slam open, as the lightning hits you, or as the lightning hits outside, you can see what you've been worried about. You've been hiding high enough up in the rafters, kind of staying around the teams. And you feel the charge of the possibility energy. You feel the charge of another set of world laws slamming into place. You can hear the screaming as if reality itself is crying as a maelstrom bridge comes down. And you know Tharkoldu was not going to invade here. That's why you came here.
That's right.
And as you said it, I'm just... as the possibility energy just kind of floods and the reality storm starts, the Vril crystals grow brightly. And what 80s action movie were you watching?
Probably it would have been something really terrible. Like, I mean, it's not going to be like Die Hard. It's probably going to be something more like, I mean, I can't even say like Escape from New York because it's actually amazing. So it's going to be something like really off book. Probably one of Roger Corman's less illustrious endeavors.
All right. So
it's the sort of thing that you find in thrift shops in Paris.
the crystals flare brightly.
Van Damme is in it somewhere.
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
As the crystals flare brightly, all of a sudden the sound booms, and the sound of bullets spraying echo in the cavernous vault of Notre Dame. You see all of the little people below you hit the ground, screaming, looking around as this wave of energy comes through. And Block, as it hits you, two things happen. One, you find yourself empowered. The cyber papacy rules kind of wash over you. No longer are you your blind beggar, but what do you look like now, Brother Block? You are muted again, sir. Can't hear you, Ben. You're muted.
Yep, I was muted. Oh, I'm a Templar in hard light armor. And I am bulky and big. And there is a glowing sprite that flies around my head. It's not exactly a halo, but it kind of moves in that direction above my head. And my Walker, my poor old man Walker, has been transformed into a GWI Godhammer, which won't show up in the light. That's terrible. What if I put it right by my face? No? Okay.
All right. So
which is a big giant warhammer that is powered by energy, just like my suit is. Can I see Kowalski?
So that's what I was saying. The second thing you notice is that there's this bright flare of light as the holes in the roof are replaced by hard light, and as this kind of all you see the hard light start to form and then kind of flicker out. But in that brief moment, illuminated from behind by the Vril crystals and the TV screen, which is now flared bright and possibly it breaks. But right before that, you are silhouetted over the whole of Notre Dame. What does Kowalski look like?
Kowalski is standing there. He has apparently, and forgive me, how tall is 3 meters? I am terribly American and cannot tell you off the top of my head.
About 9+ feet.
Okay, apparently, and I did not realize this when I first made Kowalski. Kowalski is about 9 feet tall. His wingspan, meanwhile, is about 18 feet. It's freaking massive. And he's standing in the rafters of Notre Dame, having just stood up. And see, as the doors fly open and the sound of gunfire ricochets through the amazing ancient acoustics of this ancient sacred place.
It is amazing. And what you see is a blazing warrior of light kind of standing in front of you. You have deep-seated, Darkhold memories. He's almost too bright to look at. Meanwhile, Brother Block, you clearly see up above in the rafters, looming over these people who are working in the cathedral, this demon. And so, what do you do, Brother Block?
I scream, Young grand démon dans le cathédrale! Young grand démon dans le cathédrale! Courez, d'ici tout le monde! Courez, d'ici tout le monde! Which is, there is a demon in the cathedral. Run and tell everyone. Run and tell everyone.
Okay.
And then I will call to him, Monsieur Demon!
Kowalski seems to be talking to you.
You talking to me, bub? All right, Kowalski.
Wait, c'est moi que je te parle? C'est moi que je te parle? Parce que non, je n'en veux pas une autre personne.
Look here,
Means, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? I don't see anybody else here. You must be talking to me.
Look here, bud. I don't speak any of this language. But these little people, right? Down below, I've been watching them for a long time. They seem really well-intentioned. and when you showed up, gunfire breaks out. The doors burst open. So it seems like we've got a problem. You and me.
So Block, what you don't understand anything he's saying, but the demon is like clearly like looming over the people on the ground. He's pointing to them. He's pointing to you. His maw is as expressive as his fingers. I think I can say that on the
I will
stream.
say, oh, Monsieur Demon, regardez mon visage, regardez mon visage. Tu penses que je ne suis pas verde? Je suis pas verde. Je suis pas verde.
He seems to
No,
be mocking.
je ne suis pas verde.
Kowalski
And,
takes off his aviator glasses and runs a long red finger across his mustache. All right, we're doing this.
You jumping down to
Yes. His wings spread out, and he lands in the middle of the beautiful floor of Notre Dame.
it rings out, and what I'm going to do is two things. First of all, I'm going to let Kowalski chat. I do realize it's confusing when I just say Ben because I have Ben's
In stereo.
and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer to them forevermore as Kowalski and Block, even if their characters die. They will be Kowalski and Block. Kowalski, tell me when to stop shuffling.
Oh.
Kowalski.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're close.
Go. Yeah, stop now.
All right, you want me to cut?
You're good.
Okay, so as the aggressor here, I'm going to declare you the hero,
Excellent.
and we will have Block be the villain. Now, the other thing, just so chat knows, something that we do that we acknowledge the fact that actual plays are a weird beast. They are a game that we are running and you are viewing, but they're also there's a showmanship here. There's interaction. So there is the possibility for chat to earn, possibilities. The points that the heroes spend in order to affect rolls, and then you, as the chat, can tell me if you want to donate possibility to either the Storm Knights or whoever they are fighting. It's a little way that we like to encourage chat interaction with the game. You can always throw out suggestions. There have been more than one fire alarm pulled in this game specifically because of the chat. So, Guildmaster Scott gets his first possibility for quoting the Bohemian Rhapsody. All right, so the first card is You're a Plague. Attacks by tech constructs and Babel monitors, which are not here, are favored this round. Heroes go first, so Ben, that would Kowalski, that would
So
be
is
you.
he-
Oh no, yeah,
Is he a tech construct? Is what he's like? Where the hard lines? That
no, he's
tech
not a tech
construct?
construct.
Okay.
And then Block, you are fatigued, and Intimidate or Trick is your approved action. Block, also, just so you know, you have Reality Surge, Supporter, Glory, and Drama.
All right. So
Yeah, what would you like to do?
I'm going to reach into my back and pull out of my back.
Yeah, like literally.
Like literally out of my back. Actually, I'm gonna hit a button. I'm just gonna slap my shoulder first, and the hilt is gonna pop out of my shoulder, and then I'm gonna pull a large sword out of my back. This is actually katana because,
Right, you watched a bunch of Highlander.
exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is my Zan Slasher MK2.
Okay.
All right, bro. This is it. Your one chance to walk away.
So you're gonna give me an Intimidate roll?
Yeah, we're gonna do Intimidate.
Give me an Intimidate roll.
All right.
Block, what is your Intimidate? You can always spend a point of possibility to up that because you really don't want your first Intimidate roll to be like, bro.
10.
Like 10? All right, you gotta get
I'm a 10.
10 is what you have to beat.
So spirit plus. So that's gonna be right 6. Negative.
Possibility?
You know what? Let's burn it.
All right, good possibility. You get to roll another d20 and add to it. So if you're new to Torg Eternity, essentially what happens is if you have 3 possibility. When you spend it, you get to roll an additional die to the first die.
And then those also explode.
Those
right?
also explode.
All right. So that was a 10.
Okay.
So exploding that again. Okay. Nice. All right.
So it's all 3 dice, add them together.
All 3 dice. We have a 6, a 10, and a 16. So for a total of 32.
Okay. And
So
you look on the
32
bonus chart, which we now have up on the screen for our chat viewers.
So 10 plus my spirit, which is 11. So
Plus your adds and intimidate.
which is +1. So that would be a total of 22.
All right. So that is what what we call in the biz an outstanding success.
Excellent.
So you get to make him either very stymied, which means he will take penalties to his actions, or you can make him very vulnerable, which will give you bonuses to your next actions.
I'm gonna say, and again, other Ben, like with PvP, it always is like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something to your character, but I don't want to roleplay for your character. But I think at this moment, in claiming to be the hero, perhaps Brother Block is slightly stymied by the situation in the fact that apparently a 9-foot tall demon is claiming to protect Notre Dame.
Yeah, except he doesn't understand you. All he understands is you hit the ground, your impressive wingspan went whoosh, and tarps and dust went everywhere, and you pulled a katana out of your back and bellowed something guttural at him.
Yeah.
So, Block, you can hear the sprites of the city starting to shout out choral praise to the Cyber Pope and telling people not to fear, for redemption is nigh. Look to the mountain of God. And you can also hear, right, the heretics should beware. What do? You are stymied. Rook, it is just the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and you can have a possibility. All right, so Block, it is your turn. You are fatigued and very stymied. What would you like to do?
It's more like the sword back of Notre Dame.
Don't forget to unmute before you go.
And we're not gonna. I pause. I imagine like in the nave, like looking ahead at Kowalski, and he's large. And I would say, I kind of like point my head up and say, "Mon Dev, donnez-moi la force pour te vaincre cette démon," which is my Dev. Give me the strength to defeat this demon, and I'm praying. That stinks. Okay, so I gotta spend the possibility too. All right, there we go. 21 plus my 8 plus 22 minus 4. So my prayer is an 18.
Okay.
Which gives me a good success on first strike. So for the next minute, I'll be going first, no matter what the book says.
All right.
All right. So that was your prayer. And, all right. So the next card that flips up. So if you are again unfamiliar with Torg, we have a ton of cards. We got cards for everything. All of the heroes, the Storm Knights, have Destiny cards, and Destiny cards allow them to affect the narrative of the game. They can get bonuses to rolls. They can find clues. They can kill themselves in order to achieve a goal. They can, and if you are interested at all in seeing how this works multiple times, go check out the Horseman Torg stream that is on the Ulysses International channel. The romance card, where you can find yourself romantically entangled with an NPC in the scene, even if that NPC is the big bad of the campaign and Grigori Rasputin. For initiative, we use drama cards. We also use cards. So this card tells us everything I need to know. It tells me who goes first. If there's any bonuses or penalties, we'll use them for dramatic task resolution, which when we get to that, I'll do a big kind of exploded view of how that works out. That is true. Guildmaster Scott says, we've heard you like cards. We've got the cards. We're sort of like, I don't think I can say that. We're sort of like that one restaurant that has the meats. So this card is called The Future is Our Time. At the end of the round, the game master may pick up to the next 4 drama cards and pick the one I want to use. So villains would go first. Brother Block, you will also get to go first because of your first strike. So we're gonna let you go ahead. Approved action is maneuver or trick. By the way, you got a card for your intimidate.
Yes.
If you take the approved action on the bottom of the card, you get another destiny card. So Ben, go ahead and unmute and tell us what you're gonna do.
Oh, I'm going to swing my hammer.
All right. So this guy pulls out this hammer and is attempting to.
Well, and now wouldn't I also get a +2 because Kowalski's so big? He's just easier to hit.
Are you technically large as an aspirant?
That's an excellent question. Let's see here.
It's got an 18-foot wingspan.
Let's see here. I don't know. Should I get one less of these, by the way? Because I have a rejected destiny, so pick one.
No necessarily. No.
I don't necessarily see that I'm super large. I do, however, I mean, despite the fact that 3 meters is quite tall, but I am considered supernatural evil.
So go ahead and roll it.
If that changes anything for how hard your hammer hits me.
Now, am I still stymied, or did that end?
That ended because you took your action.
Oh, yeah, it did. So I will be coming at you with a 19 melee weapons roll.
All right. So what is your melee weapons?
My melee weapons
My melee weapon is 10.
No, not yours. Kowalski's.
That's going to be a 13.
All right. So you got a good success. What is the?
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll your bonus die. What's your toughness?
Was that
Your toughness?
my toughness? Oh no, I don't have.
So that will be 18 points of damage.
Strength plus your armor.
Okay, so I do have armor, thankfully. That's 2. So strength is not great. So it's so yes, that's 10.
Okay, so you will take a wound and 2 shock. Now at this point, you have a choice. Do you want to take the wound and 2 shock, or do you want to spend a possibility to try and change reality and soak the wound and not take the wound?
You know what?
Good shot.
Just burn it all.
All right, so this is a reality roll. So go ahead and give me a reality roll.
Okay, all right. Burning reality is +2 for me. That's a 10, so that explodes. That's everything explodes for me, is it? So 13 plus my reality, which is +2. 13 plus 2 plus 11.
So 13 is a total of plus 1.
26.
Nope, it's +1 on the chart.
Okay, yep. 13, okay, you're right. So 1 plus 1 plus, so 12.
So 12?
Yeah.
All right, so 12 allows you to soak the wound and all the shock. So what does that look like? Like, what do you do to kind of absorb the blow of this hammer as he, brings it down, so to speak?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a glowing hammer
Of light.
Of light. So as his hammer comes forward, I throw out my katana, as I've seen in so many badass movies, and it glints and glows and catches the hammer.
All right.
Somehow doesn't shatter, but.
Now, at this point, as you are standing face to face, blade, hammer, kind of cutting back and forth, your eyes narrowing, his eyes narrowing, you hear, Kowalski, a scream off to the right. You can see there are several of those restoration specialists, the little people that were running around. And you can see that there are kind of coming up out of the floor, coming out of the wall, 5 of these creatures. They seem to be red and sulfurous, kind of giving off smoke. You can see glowing red eyes, and one of them has its hand about the middle of its palm inside the head of one of the restoration specialists, and it is screaming. You don't know what this thing is, but you've been around enough techno demons to know something that enjoys the pain and the suffering of others. It is now your turn. It looks like these and it just, you can also see something weird around the edges of its hand where it enters the head. You can see almost what looks like little circuitry lines, and this guy is screaming, and then all of a sudden coughs up a bubble of blood. Blood comes down out of the restoration specialist's mouth, and the creature just rips its hand free. The 5 of them go towards the remaining 6 out of the group of 7.
All right. So, at this juncture, I will use with my right hand. I will continue to hold Brother Block at bay with my katana, and with my left hand, I'll raise it. There'll be a chunk, 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 and my, what is this called? My elf blaster will
Okay.
appear in where my hand used
You're
to
all
be.
with blaster, yeah? All right. So it's just kind of like,
Yeah, with my forearm.
all right. So you're gonna try and shoot at
I'm
one
gonna
of
try
these.
and shoot at one of these things.
All right. Give me the roll.
All right, so this is gonna be this is a fire weapon, or this is an energy weapon.
This is an energy weapon.
Energy weapon. Powered by pain, like you do.
Like you do. This episode brought to you by the Cyber Papacy and Darkhold, a odd couple matchup made in someone's mind. I assume it was Vegas, maybe. All right, so what'd you get?
Not great. I don't want to burn my last possibility, but I probably should. That's a -1 to my dex, which is 12. So that's, well, yeah. So that's a total of 11.
Well, an 11 against these creatures is not good enough to hit. Do you have any card that might give you a little bonus?
I have one that adds bonus die.
Okay.
My next.
So you're gonna have to spend a possibility if you want to hit this thing.
Will 3 hit? Will a +3 allow you to hit it?
14.
A 14 will hit it.
Okay, so I'm going to say something in French and motion like. You just needed to aim a little higher, and it is like, oh, okay, sure.
We have this moment where our eyes meet.
Yeah, Block, you can clearly see that at the moment, even with your hammer in its face, this demon seems far more concerned about the innocents in the cathedral than it does about ending you. And I apologize, I have to hand out possibilities because Zero Earth Elements said this is brought to you by Pain in Purgatory. Padre dropped its hammer time. So enjoy your possibilities. And go ahead, what's the base damage on your blaster?
My elf blaster has 13 base damage.
Would you like to spend your coup de grace
You know, I'm
to
gonna
add a
go ahead and
bonus
spend,
die?
coup de grace to add bonus die to the damage of a successful attack. So,
So on these,
6.
these are on a 6. When you get the infinity symbol, it counts as 5 points, but explodes.
got a 4.
So your total is 17.
17 damage. Yep.
All right. So the good news is you hit it, and you inflict some shock.
Okay.
The bad news is, does it have any armor piercing?
It does not.
Okay. Not so good. You do some shock to it. It kind of forces them back, and the 5 of them turn around, looking directly at you and the guy with the hammer. The next card is called Run. Villains go first and get an up. Defend or maneuver is the approved action. But, Brother Block, you always get to go first. You know what these are. These are a mixture of magic, hatred, and spiritual power. These are demons of the Cyber Papacy. What do you do?
I look at Kowalski, and I kind of put my hand up like, we'll get back to this. And I pull out my God meter, and I'm going to fire into exactly where Kowalski hit. So I'll take a penalty to try to like marksman it,
Okay.
but I'm gonna like he shot it and nothing happened. So I'm like, oh, okay, watch this, and and I'll shoot it.
So what you're saying is that you want to use a smaller bullet to hit the same spot.
Okay,
I now understand the
so,
dynamic of this group.
will an 11? No, it won't. An 11 won't hit. We already established
11
that.
won't hit.
Can I give him a card?
You can give him a card.
So immediately reattempt any action, second chance. The new test takes place of the failed one.
Excellent.
Alright.
I will trade you. I played my supporter. I'll give you a drama.
Okay.
All right. So you don't have a drama card.
Okay.
Evan gave
All
me
right.
a
So I'm-
possibility, and I will take it.
Okay.
So I shoot and miss, and Kowalski like grunts like, in a way that we both understand. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
and then I'll fire again.
All right, go for it.
All right, maybe. Okay. So with a roll of 29, that will make it a 18.
That is a good.
16 to hit the 16 to hit the smaller target.
Oh, 16 at the smaller target. So that will be a good or a standard success, but you will get a +4 damage for hitting a vital spot. Go for it. This is my possibility.
All right, so 21 altogether. 21 with the 4.
21 points of damage?
Yeah.
All right. Well, 21 points of damage will do a wound or 2 wounds to this creature. And as you hit it, one of them just sort of like just disappears in the light of the God meter laser. The rest of them, however, of the 4 remaining, 2 of them look at each other and you can see the data flowing between them. And they go back through the wall, dissolving, like kind of moving through the wall, exiting Notre Dame. And the other 2 come rushing right at you. They kind of move towards, and as they're moving towards you, you can see the lights on the scaffolding that is set up against the walls. They start to flicker as these creatures, as they move, you can see lightning starting to play along their forms, and they are both going to cast lightning at you. Ooh, 0 Earth Element. Possibilities JM should only be Cosm-specific possibilities. I will allow it. All right, so Kowalski.
I will declare bunker mode.
That's not great for me. I'm going to spend that sweep possibility because I rolled a total of 6 on 2 dice. So it's a 16, which only gets me to +3. What is your dodge or dexterity?
All right. So my dodge is +2, so that's a total of 14.
All right, so I would need a 14 to hit you.
Okay.
Conjuration +3. So I hit you. I do not get a good success, so I don't get roll any bonus dice. What is your total toughness, and how many points of that comes from armor?
2 points of it comes from armor. My total toughness is 8 if it's strength plus armor. So I may look impressive, but I'm not actually. That's true.
So you will take a wound and 2 shock from this, and you don't have any. Oh, you have a
I do have
possibility.
a possibility. So I'm gonna take it though.
All right, so you take a wound.
Yep.
And 2 shock, and the way this works is, with wounds in Torg, every wound you have subtracts from the total of your actions as you are doing things.
Okay.
The other one fires a bolt of lightning directly at Brother Block. And you can hear them say, strangely, you can understand this as well.
Okay.
Kowalski, a Templar, it's gone rogue. Kill it. Block, what is your dodge or dexterity?
My dodge is 9. because I'm in bunker mode.
All right. Well, your dodge is 9. That means that I have a outstanding success. What does bunker mode do? Tell us what you have that gives you the ability to engage bunker mode.
Okay, so I, part of my cybernetics, I have a hard light drone. There's a couple different choices. Mine is a shield drone, and it has 2 modes. When it is in shield mode, it gives whoever is under it, or whoever it's targeting, rather, a +4 to defense, to dodge, to whatever. And if I switch it to bunker mode, it gives me a +6 hard light armor. Which is only a +2. I already have like really good armor, but I could also, next week I'm gonna help the mummy.
So what is your total toughness right now?
17.
All right. So I ignore 4 points of the armor, so that would drop it to 13. This is the 13. The lightning hits you good, Brother Block. For 3 wounds and 6 shock. Would you like to spend a possibility to soak that?
Oh yes, most assuredly.
Ooh, Certified Organic says that Brother Block was bitten by a radioactive bunker.
Yeah. Yep, I gotta spend a possibility on that.
Bunker man.
Oh, okay, but now it's aces. So altogether, I wrote a 22, which is a +8, so 18.
So an 18 will get rid of 2 wounds and all shock. So as the lightning just coruscates over you, you can see this shield of light kind of surrounds Brother Block, and as it wavers a little bit, it sort of coruscates around, but some of it gets through, leaving you both with 1 wound. You are very persistent is the next card. If a Storm Knight repeats their last action, so if you take the exact same action that you just took, it is favored, which means if you don't like the first roll, you can re-roll and take the second roll.
So by action meaning like the attack with the same weapon, or
Yep.
Okay.
You can direct it at a different target, and heroes go first, so both you and Block will go first, and you guys will get a flurry. After you take your normal actions, you will get to take another round of normal actions before the enemy gets to go. So, who would like to go first?
Are you going to shoot it again, Ben?
Well, I feel like I need a bigger gun. I have a bigger gun.
Oh,
So
okay. So
I
I'm going to make it, since we get a flurry, I'm not going to shoot it again. I'm going to do a maneuver in an attempt to make it vulnerable.
Okay.
So as it's coming towards us, it's gonna look like I'm about to swing the hammer at the demon, but instead I hit a bit of scaffolding on purpose, and it rains down debris and a bit of scaffolding wood, and so the demon has to jump out of the way and is now vulnerable to Kowalski's shot.
All right, go ahead and
I gotta roll it.
give me the roll. Yeah.
All right. How will a maneuver of 12 do?
Not great. For my side, not for you. A maneuver of 12 will make him vulnerable. If you want to, do you have anything that would give you a +3 that would make him very vulnerable?
No, let it go.
All right. So Kowalski, you will get to go, and you will get a. The approved action is trick, by the way.
Okay.
You will get to go, and did you just roll it? No, you rolled a maneuver, correct? Block.
Maneuver.
So as the demon stumbles out of the way of the falling debris directly toward me, I again extend my hand, dodge this, and shoot him in the face.
So go for it.
All right. So this is it's repeated action. So it's
Same action that you did before, and it will be favored. So if you don't like your first roll, what was it?
20.
Well, I would keep that. Now roll again.
That's another 20.
All right, so you're at 40 right now.
I'm gonna need more dice.
I've got some here in the dice box.
I'm good. That's a 3.
So a 43 is a plus 12 to what you were doing.
All right, so that's a plus 12 to my energy weapons, which is my dex, plus 2. So that's 26.
26. All right. So a 26 versus his vulnerable dodge of 10 is up by 16. So that is a outstanding success. So you're gonna roll 2 bonus dice of damage.
All right. 13 plus 10.
13 plus 10. Cool. So that is going to be that'll be a wound and 2 shock. So you hit this thing right in the chest, and you can see little bits of the sulfurous material go flying off. And as they do, they sort of disappear into. Well, you're from Tharcold. You've been in the Cur. Like you can see it just dissolves into sort of like bits and bites and tiny whiffs of brimstone and sulfur. It smells like home. All right, you guys all get another turn. Go for it.
So scared.
What are you guys doing next?
Hammer time for the block.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go. I'm swinging right into the hole that you just hit. So I'll again. It's still big, but like in order to marksman it, it'll be a -2. Oh no! I rolled a 1.
Oh.
Cool.
So, I own my failures. So right as I'm about to swing on this demon that you just hit, there was one like can of paint up on top of that scaffolding that was kind of like wiggling back and forth. And as I move to get him, it just clunks me right in the noggin.
Okay. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say that makes you stymied because as the can of paint hits and conks you in the noggin, some of the paint spreads over your eyes and you can't see as well.
Kowalski rolls his enormous yellow eyes.
You have seen this though in the movie. This is of the action movie subgenre, the buddy cop film.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
This is the moment when Kowalski realizes that he and Block are actually meant to be together. They're the Riggs and Murtaugh. Oh, I'll get these by the book.
It was red paint, Titian red.
yeah.
Also looks like home.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to take my katana and I'm going to bring it down and bisect this demon
That you hit?
that I hit the first time.
Roll for it.
Double 20s is probably not going to happen again, but one lives in it. It did not happen. I'm going to spend the drama card to give it the possibility.
All right. That scaffolding that has been shot and now accidentally shot again is starting to waver back and forth. Tarps are falling off. More cans of paint are just raining down around you.
All right. That, however, is a natural 20. Yeah!
So what was your first roll?
It was a 6.
Okay, so you're at 26.
26.
Keep going.
Okay, that's right. I gotta keep this. Sorry, wait. Alright. More dice. 17. So
26, 36, 43.
43. Thingy on there, that's a 12. So 12 plus my melee damage, which is dex plus 1, so that's plus 12. So 24?
24.
24.
That is a outstanding success. So what's the base damage on your weapon?
It is 10.
And it's AP2, correct?
That's AP2, correct.
Go for it.
Alright. So.
2 bonus dice of damage.
Oh, that was
outstanding.
plus 2 means.
No, it's like outstanding. So,
Oh, alright.
so it's strength plus 2 is the base damage.
Okay, so that's, 10. +7, so 17.
All right. So 17, it inflicts. So you bisect it. As you're cutting in half, you can see some of the code goes away, but some of it is drawn into your blade as it sort of absorbs the pain of this dying demon and perhaps some of the code of the cyber papacy.
There
It-
can only be one sucker. I assume my sword is absorbing your soul. That's how swords work.
That is possibly fair. Brother Block, on your heads-up display, you can see that you have several pending messages that are coming in on a coded channel. All right. At this point, the creature in front of you sees Block being distracted. You're in front of it. You just cut down one of its only remaining ally. It kind of moves toward you and then darts away, attempting to trick you. What is your trick or mind?
Pretty bad.
My -5.
Do you have any points in trick?
I have no points in trick.
So what you're telling me is that it's impossible for me not to succeed in this.
I'm good at hitting things sometimes.
Well, I got an outstanding success in
It
this.
just disappears.
So two things happen. One, I need each of you to discard one of your cards in your pool.
My one and only.
That is how good of a trickster this creature is. The other thing is you are very vulnerable at this point. That reduces your defenses. Essentially, it gives him a +4 to hit you.
That sucks.
Yeah. And the next card is Prepare to Terminate.
Oh, good.
Villains go first. Heroes suffer a setback, and attempts to soak damage by the heroes are disfavored this round. And at this point, the setback is the scaffolding collapses. The paint and the paint thinner goes everywhere. And as you watch the demons, it has no lower mouth, but you can see this light kind of split into, like, this light point of light appears in its lower jaw, and it splits and grows to the side of its face, and then it curls upward, and you realize it is smiling at you as it hits the ground with its foot and twists, and there's a spark. Brother Block, you go first because you have first strike up.
Yes, I think one more or two more.
There's one more. Mr.
my
Furious said this is
goal-
supposed to be an origin story, not a last stand.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I'm going to straight grapple the demon, try to get it into a like a full Nelson, or some other form of fancy French wrestling move, and if I manage to hold him, I'm going to shout the Gingale, which means shoot him. And I realize you'll be shooting into melee, but I'm cool with it.
Give me your unarmed combat.
All right. 20. So that's a 19.
All right, that is a good success.
And because I'm grappling, it's a strength test, right? So he gets to fight against my strength.
So first, a grappling is an unarmed combat test. If successful, so he doesn't even try to break free at this point. You get to inflict. Do you have anything to up it at this point? At a 19, you are 3 off from an outstanding. Okay. What is your strength?
My strength is 11.
All right, so you will hit with an 11 damage, which is going to do a little bit of shock to it. On its turn, it is flat-footed to all attacks and may not attempt to break free. On the demon's turn, it may only attempt to. It is an opposed strength check.
Kill it.
It's an opposed strength check, so
Okay.
go ahead and roll it. My dice have failed me utterly tonight. I just want you to know that.
I'm not sorry.
Just a 12.
So that's a 12, and I rolled a 5, which is a -4 to my strength of 14. You continue to restrain it. Kowalski, it's holding the demon facing at you. Now, I will let you know there are rules for firing into a melee, which is most definitely is. The way this works is you roll as normal, but if the die total, the final die total, is odd, I roll to see who you randomly hit. So it's still in favor in a two-person fight. The odds are in your favor. You're going to hit the demon.
Okay.
There is a chance, but if you want to bring out the big gun, now is the time to do it.
All right. Well, okay. I'm gonna pull out the Mim 8. So, I apparently have had this thing strapped across my back.
The whole
So
time. Nobody can see from your weight.
it's basically a portable railgun. And it is also AP2 at short range, and this would, I assume, be short range.
It is.
All right. So, we're gonna shoot this thing.
Go for it.
That's a 16. So on the little chartio thing, that's +3 plus my dex, which is 12, so 15, so 17.
So a 17 to hit it is a good success. So that's a bonus die. So what's the base damage of the weapon?
Base damage is 14,
Okay. AP2.
AP2.
All right, roll the bonus die.
All right, so 14 plus, so 17.
All right, so that'll be a wound and 2 shock to the creature.
Okay,
What was the final die roll? I forgot to ask you.
16.
Okay, so 16 is totally fine. All right, so Brother Black, this shot goes off and it hits the demon. You actually feel the impact, and the demon's heels kick across the ground, and that's when everything ignites.
Oh.
So, you guys are all caught in essentially a in a medium blast. So, what is everyone's toughness?
Fun fact: demons are not fireproof.
Feel like, well, you're not a demon, you're an aspirant.
I'm a techno demon. Exactly. We are, however, immune to good taste.
My toughness is 17.
My toughness is 10.
All right, your toughness is 17. You are fine. Your toughness is 10. You're a little shocked. Like, you take 2 points of shock as the heat kind of roils around you, and you remember growing up in Tharkhold and being told demons aren't fireproof. So you have this moment where you're like, "Oh, Rook. He said there was trauma, but you should block it out."
That's what he's for.
Yeah. Good. I feel like Rook deserves their deserves a possibility there. All right, so it is now your turn, Kowalski. Oh no, you just went.
I did just shoot the guy.
Kowalski, your internal occult tech also starts picking up this encrypted signal.
So the signal, as in like it starts.
You're starting to get
code, or
no. It is. Do you want to give me a mind check to try and decrypt it?
Do I have to? It's not my strong suit.
That's a 2, which checks out.
That's right. Well, so
I slapped myself in the head a couple times.
Gosh darn it, butts.
The drama card for this round is "Oh, relax, it's only magic." Casting a spell counts as an approved action this round, And villains recover 2 points of shock. Intimidate is the improved action. Block, you are first. You guys can hear the sound of sirens approaching. Block, you immediately recognize them as those of the official police force of the church.
Oh, they're not the
No.
not the French
No.
sirens. What do siren paper see sirens sound like, Ben?
Oh, it's like a Chemical Brothers song.
What do you do, Block?
I'm still holding I've still got the demon.
You do.
I am going to I'm gonna if I can hold it and get my gun out, I'm gonna straight shoot it in the head.
You can do it as a multi-action.
Okay, so that would be a energy weapons of 10 and a unarmed of 10.
So what's your total?
2 10s. An energy weapon 10 and a
Oh, okay. Energy weapon 10 is good enough to hit the creature with just a standard success. What's the base damage?
12.
All right. There's a shot of light, and the creature just sort of dissolves into little bits and ash that are kind of consumed by the flames around you. You can hear you can see the lights of the sirens kind of pulling up around outside, and you can see through the doors of the church there are 2 people waiting in the ring as these flying cars touch down. And as they look back, you both see that their eyes are the same red as the creatures that just fled. And at this point, the survivors who are the flames are starting to go out. You can see some of the restorationists. Come! They kind of look at each other, and one of them kind of shakes, and you hear something which Block you immediately understand in French. I cannot speak French, so I'm just going to put it in brackets to translate. It says, "I know what he looks like, but he's the one who helped us." And she kind of nods and waves at the big guy, and the other ones are kind of waving at you.
All right. I will sheathe my sword
It kind of gets absorbed back into your body.
with my gun and then follow him, I guess. Well, grab. I'll tell Brother Block. I'll wipe the paint off his face.
So I'm walking as well, and I'm going to try to communicate to the demon as best I can. And so I look at him in sort of that me, Tarzan, you, Kowalski. I'll say.
Really worried that it was going to end with you, Jane, and then we would fade to black.
No romance guy.
That's no different. I'll say, Frere Blocker. Frere Blocker.
Oh,
Who are you?
you're
Who
not-
are you? Police
Kowalski
sirens
Bonsai.
ringing. Police sirens ringing. Ding dang dong. Ding dang dong.
Yeah. What?
So the restorationists kind of lead you through Notre Dame, leading you into areas underneath that were revealed but undamaged by the fire.
Cool.
And as you can hear the sounds of hard light booted thugs coming through the door, you end up in the Paris Underground. They, as they get you out, smuggled out of the cathedral into through some catacombs into into the catacombs, I guess is actually what I want to say. Eventually, you find yourself kind of standing in a small arched area. There are bones in the walls. There are skulls mounted in the lining of the wall, and there is a woman in a red and blue duster, hood kind of pulled up, very heavy tinted sunglasses, smoking and kind of waiting for you there. And everyone kind of freezes. She's like, I've been trying to reach you for the last 15 minutes. Sierra, we got to get you out of here. Day 1 has begun. The invasion is here. We need everyone, including you. She looks at you.
Are those skulls complimentary?
You know, I don't know.
Okay, it's gonna take what?
Just kind of pulling. It sort of crumbles, but
Another one.
several minutes later. And with that, this agent of the Delphi Council, or this agent, kind of takes you out and introduces you to the idea of a resistance, something you're not even familiar with. Who knew that the High Lords could be opposed? You hear very strange things, Kowalski, over the next several days. That the invasion, possibly that you were supposed to help spearhead, does not go well when Tharpold attempts to invade Core Earth. Block, you see the horrors unfold as the cyber papacy sort of spreads out into the world. The chat is saying that I owe you a possibility for Arthur Skull's compliment tree, and I will allow it. You will start with an extra possibility when Kowalski comes back to the fore. So,
I will heal Kowalski. I will lay hands on him and pray. I won't try to do the actual French. I'll just say, please, God, I realize he's a disgusting abomination, but he's trying.
Does that work on supernatural evil creatures?
I don't know. If it doesn't work.
It burns, but when his hands come away, the wound is closed. So
He's a good bird.
it's a good burn. It's that deep burn.
It's a deep bird.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only a 10, so like, wasn't a great prayer.
So, with that, you guys are folded into the nascent Delphi Council. You spend the next 90-ish days being brought up to speed. Brother Block learns English.
All the desks are too small.
Yes. There's this flash to Kowalski in one of those old like writing desks, like with the metal
Like
frames
school
in the
desk,
chair,
yeah.
like a school desk, kind of hunched over, learning what Istanbul is and how it is not Constantinople. It's now Istanbul, not Constantinople. And that is where we will bring this Gremlin film. Techno Demon film? There's a lot of Techno Demons tonight. Torg day 1 shot to a close. Thank you for being patient. We're just getting the new tech rolling, and I appreciate your patience. To the chat, you guys are amazing and wonderful. Thank you so much. If I missed something funny, I will go back through the chat. I always read the chat at the end of the night. It's hard to kind of keep an eye on the chat and this. I am thinking about putting the chat box actually up on the screen. We'll see if I can find a good place for that. That way everyone, even if you're watching here on YouTube, will be able to enjoy that. We will be back next week with our final day 1 shot, which will be the whole cast. But everyone will be playing, I don't want to call them red shirts, but let's call it everyone else who dies in a horror movie, as we do our homage to the great slasher films, and we introduce the final Storm Knight of our new campaign, Delilah. And so please join us next week on Tuesday to enjoy more Torg. Again, thank you. Apologies for the little bit of roughness, and I realize that like cadences The rhythms, just it happens to everyone. Also, please, if you think of it, if it works out for you, please check out the Roll for Ukraine. Check out the hashtag. You can go to the Facebook site. I know that Phantom of Truth has been putting this down in the chat. Thank you, as always, to Phantom of Truth for his moderation and just engagement with the chat. Chat, it is always good to see all of you. Just glad to have to be back and be able to interact with people. Also to everybody out there who may not have the Torg PDFs, please go check out the Bundle of Holding. It is a spectacular deal to get in on Torg. The core, the starter kit has a ton of the Core Earth stuff that came in the Core Earth starter box. The Cosmos has Living Lens, Nile Empire, Isle, and I think, am I missing anything, Phantom? We'll see. We'll see if Phantom adds to that. So, thank you for joining us. We will be back next week with our slasher film, and in 2 weeks, we will be starting the new campaign in Istanbul. So, again, chat, always a joy to interact with you. Ben, thank you for joining tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. Zorba Aladdin, Gabe, good to see you, buddy. And Dr. Frankenswine. That is, Dr. Frankenswine is Kit or Jenny the Mummy, or I should say Jenny or Kit the Mummy in our game. And Zorba Aladdin is, of course, Zorba Aladdin, who you saw last week. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. this is the Ulysses International channel. I am JM. These are the Bens. And we will see you all next week. Have a good one.